That's your cue to give a thumbs up, subscribe, ring that notification bell, share this video, and let's begin! Dwayne Wade does pull-ups. Dwayne Wade obviously enjoys his fitness and feels that the perfect time to get in a workout is right before a basketball game. Inspired by Vince Carter, who used to pull himself from the net and kiss the rim, apparently in honor of his grandmother, Wade instead does 3 consecutive pull-ups holding the rim of the basket, which he has always done. Wade isn't going to stop doing this strange little ritual. And hey, maybe it makes him feel stronger for the game. He certainly seems to have benefited from it. Jason Terry's wardrobe. Jason Terry was known very well for his point guard prowess, but he was a bit of an oddball about superstition. Before games, he would eat chicken and wear knee-high socks. Apparently, this is because his father did, though Terry would also wear a headband. Also, the night before a game, Terry would go to bed wearing a very special piece of attire, the opposing team's shorts. He did lead his team to a championship though, so maybe there's something in that. Carmelo Anthony inspects the ball. Carmelo Anthony is an extremely talented player who was a great scorer for the Knicks before bouncing around a bit and landing in Portland. While he's not the weirdest thing about Portland, his ritual is still pretty weird. He seems to believe that he must inspect the ball before any game. What is he expecting to find? Razor blades? An undiscovered Da Vinci painting? Maybe he's just paranoid and has decided that he and only he is qualified to be the official NBA ball tester. I don't think Spalding needs your help, Anthony. Charles Oakley and Spike Lee inspect the ball. Charles Oakley was always tight with Spike Lee, and who could blame him? The man made Malcolm X, but he also made the terrible remake of Old Boy. Just watch the Korean original, seriously. Still, Oakley seemed to like him well enough, and Lee was, and presumably still is, a huge Knicks fan. So it was then that before every game, Oakley would pass the ball to Lee. Lee would then inspect the ball for him and pass it back. It went on for a couple of years and was more interesting than most of Lee's movies. Shaq's Alley Shaq. Shaquille O'Neal will go down in history as an all-time great of the NBA. He also appeared in one of the worst video games of all time, Shaq Fu. But the less said about that, the better. Anyway, Shaq had a scripted little pregame ritual that he dubbed Alley Shaq, wherein he would pretend to roll a bowling ball towards a few of his teammates and they would fall like bowling pins. How emasculating! Still, it can't have hurt that badly as his legacy speaks for itself. Just don't play that video game, whatever you do. Michael Jordan's chalk toss. Michael Jordan is the GOAT, everyone knows that. What many people don't know is that he was extremely demanding and unapologetic in his relentless pursuit of the best from himself and everyone else. He might not have been the nicest guy, but this takes the cake. Before entering the court, he would rub chalk on his hands. Nothing weird about that. But then he would toss it into the faces of the broadcasters. They would even start wearing masks 20 years early to keep the chalk from getting into their faces and bodies. LeBron James chalk toss. The only thing LeBron seems to like more than stirring up the population with his radical political takes and pandering to China is trying to be or to beat Michael Jordan, copying Jordan in typical fashion. James has done the chalk toss for the majority of his career. He rubs his hands together and tosses the chalk into the air. He did it when he first played for Cleveland, but didn't continue the ritual when he was in Miami. After he went back to Cleveland, he asked if he should bring it back, and the fans voted yes. At least he's not throwing it in anyone's faces, I suppose. He just does that on Twitter. Steve Kerr's pregame meal. When it comes to athletic competition, most players prefer to have a balanced diet and get plenty of exercise. After all, you are what you eat. But Steve Kerr and Tony Kukoc had an odd pregame ritual. Every night before a game, they would get together and eat an enormous amount of food. They would eat all sorts of things, including appetizers, pastas, salad, chicken, and all sorts. They would drink red wine and espresso, and Kerr attributes this ritual to European influence, saying that drinking a little wine with every meal is typical. This is anything but typical. Rajon Rondo's passes. Rajon Rondo is very well known for his assets and steals, being a highly respected point guard. But he used to have a weird little ritual where his teammates when he was playing for the Boston Celtics. He and Kevin Garnett, Paul Pierce, and Jeff Green would engage in this ritual together with 4 balls. First, Rondo would alley-oop to Garnett, then he would bounce pass the next ball to Paul Pierce. After this, he would pass the ball all the way up to the scoreboard, allowing Jeff Green to perform a dunk, and then he would shoot the final ball himself. This lasted for his entire tenure with the Celtics until he was traded to the Mavericks. Monta Ellis's wax hands. Monta Ellis had to have one of the strangest pregame rituals you could possibly imagine. Ever since he tore one of the ligaments on his finger, he would put his hand in warm wax and let it dry. Later, he would peel the wax off and claim that the wax had improved the smoothness of his hands. He also believed that having smooth hands would help him to smoothly dunk the ball in games. Surely you need grip to maintain control of the ball. Kevin Garnett bangs his head. Garnett wins this list of the weirdest pregame rituals as he would smash his head into the foam-covered post, holding up the hoop. Maybe he was testing the integrity of the post. Maybe it's a form of respect or a prayer to the basketball gods. Maybe he did it once by accident, and the resulting concussion voices told him to keep doing it. Who knows? Maybe one day Garnett will reveal the reason behind this strange ritual. That's if he has any memory of doing it. It can't be good to play in the NBA with a rattled brain. So those are the oddest, strangest, downright weirdest rituals in NBA history. Hope you liked this video, which I'm pretty sure you did. So give us a thumbs up to show your support, subscribe, and ring that notification bell for future updates. Until next time.